One of the most famous characters in video games and pop culture, Mario is one of those figures that many people have come into contact with, whether in his numerous games or in other media. The newly arrived animation in theaters reinforces the popularity of the Plumber, who first appeared in games in 1981. Even as famous, there are a number of lesser-known facts about the Nintendo mascot. Next, we list 5 fun facts about Super Mario. Super Mario Bros., the character's first game, released in 1985, was not his debut. Nintendo's mustachioed short man had his first appearance years before, in Donkey Kong, from 1981. At the time, the Italian had not even been baptized, and his profession was another, demolition. In some moments of the game, he even uses a sledgehammer. The demolition work is also shown in another game, released months before Super Mario Bros., Wrecking Crew, 1985. Although he already has a name and his brother Luigi as a co-protagonist, his occupation is still the same, and the objective is to demolish buildings. Among the curiosities about Super Mario is the fact that his name comes from a real person. Mario Segal, 1934 to 2018, a businessman in the real estate sector, rented the office space for Nintendo America in the early 1980s. The company, which was preparing to launch Donkey Kong, delayed payment, and the Segal went to the place to collect. The owner of the space was of Italian origin. Not tall and had a habit of wearing suspenders. Although somewhat irritated at the time, Segal accepted the promise of payment made by the then president of Nintendo America, Minoru Arakawa. Later, his name ended up being used for the character, who had not yet been baptized. If in Donkey Kong Mario rescued the girl kidnapped by the gorilla, in the sequel, Donkey Kong Jr., 1982, the mustache becomes the captor and imprisons the monkey in a cage. It's up to Donkey Kong Jr. to rescue his father from the hands of the unlikely villain. After that, Mario would never be an antagonist, although he still has a history of mistreatment of animals, see the numerous attacks on Koopa Troopa turtles and other species in the games. Despite the worldwide success of Super Mario Bros., 1985, its direct sequel was not released outside of Japan. That's because Nintendo America considered that Super Mario Bros. 2, 1986, had a very high difficulty level, which could displease the public. Much like the first game, the sequel has somewhat more difficult and sometimes unfair stages. Thus, the solution found to offer a more accessible option was to modify the game Yum Kojo, Doki Doki Panic, already released in Japan. However, the title's original playable characters were replaced with those from the Mario universe, including Toad, Peach, and Luigi. Therefore, none of the enemies seen in the original title appear in this game. Very different from Super Mario Bros. Years later, in 1993, the original sequel was released in the West with Super Mario Bros., The Lost Levels, as if they were extra stages of the first one. In turn, the North American retelling was later released in Japan as Super Mario Bros. USA. If today video game adaptations are relatively common in cinema and television, we must not forget that there was a pioneer. However, Nintendo itself prefers to forget. After all, Super Mario Bros., 1993, was a resounding failure at the box office. With a chaotic mix of science fiction, fantasy, and a trashy aesthetic, the feature has little resemblance to the universe of games. Still, some consider the work a cult classic. Regardless of judgments, the film inaugurates a highly profitable vein today. Thus, it is possible to say that the film is an audiovisual landmark. Leave your opinion in the comments, and if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.